All right, let's jump right in. Because happening right now, mostly behind the scenes, is a quiet revolution that's literally rewiring the arteries of the Indian economy. We're talking about a massive plan to finally release a $1 trillion handbrake that's been slowing the country down for decades. But to really get a feel for what this means, let's start with a simple story. Picture a farmer in Maharashtra. He's got a whole truckload of perfect, fresh pomegranates ready to go to a fancy supermarket in London. But then the journey begins. The truck gets stuck for 12 hours just across the state border. Then it hits a monster traffic jam on the way to the port. The train that's supposed to take the container, it's delayed. By the time that fruit finally gets there, it's missed its ship, and a huge chunk of that beautiful cargo is ruined. Now, this isn't just a sad story about one farmer's bad luck. For decades, this has been the story of the Indian economy. So much potential just stuck in one massive, countrywide traffic jam. This was that $1 trillion handbrake in action. So what on earth was causing all this chaos? Well, all this chaos came with a seriously massive price tag. For years, the cost of logistics wasn't just some number on a spreadsheet. No, it was basically a hidden tax on every single citizen and every business in India. And this chart, wow, it just lays it all out. In India, the cost of just moving stuff around was a staggering 14 to 16% of GDP. Now, compare that to about 10% in China or just 8% in super efficient economies like Germany and the US. That difference meant that made-in-India products were already more expensive before they even left the factory. They were starting the race at a huge disadvantage. So why was it so crazy expensive? Well, it really boils down to three big things. First, it was a totally fragmented mess. You had the Ministry of Roads, the Ministry of Shipping, the Ministry of Railways, all working in their own little bubbles, barely ever talking to each other. Second, a bureaucratic paper maze. A single shipment could need dozens of different documents, all with manual checks, creating insane delays. And third, completely unplanned infrastructure. You'd get a brand new highway that would lead directly into an old congested port, creating a massive, predictable bottleneck. But wait, here's where the story takes a turn, because a radical solution has been put into motion. It's called the National Logistics Policy, or NLP. And this isn't just about pouring more concrete for roads. It's a complete revolution in how India moves everything: goods, data, and money. Honestly, the best way to get your head around this is with this one brilliant analogy. Think of it as the UPI for logistics. You know how the UPI payment system connected all the different banks onto one seamless, instant platform? Well, the NLP is designed to do the exact same thing for the entire logistics world. And the digital heart of this whole revolution is something called ULIP, the Unified Logistics Interface Platform. This is the tech that makes the magic happen. It brings every single player, from railways and ports to customs and private trucking companies, onto one single digital platform where they can all share data in real time. So what does that actually change in the real world? Well, before ULIP, a truck's journey was a total black box. Nobody had any idea where it was or why it was delayed. After ULIP, it's like tracking your pizza delivery. A company can monitor its shipment with a single click, all the way from the factory floor to the final customer. Everything becomes predictable. But listen, this isn't just about some fancy software. The policy also creates a coordinated master plan for the physical world, too. This means strategically building these huge, multimodal hubs where goods can transfer seamlessly from a truck to a train to a ship. And to make sure it all keeps working, there's a special group with the power to constantly monitor the system and fix bottlenecks on the fly. So let's just do a quick recap of this massive transformation. Before the NLP, you had high costs, zero coordination, data hidden on paper, unplanned infrastructure, and unpredictable speeds. After the NLP, the goal is to slash costs to global levels, integrate the whole system, make data transparent and real-time, plan the infrastructure properly, and make deliveries fast and reliable. It's a total overhaul. Okay, so the system is getting a major upgrade. But why should you care? Because fixing logistics creates a massive ripple effect, like an economic tsunami of good things that impacts pretty much everyone in the country. First off, this policy is set to slash manufacturing costs. Remember that crazy 14 to 16% logistics expense? The goal is to bring that down to the globally competitive level of 8%. Hitting that target alone would be like hitting the accelerator on the Make in India initiative, making local products way more affordable and competitive on the world stage. Second, it actually helps tame inflation. Think back to those pomegranates. With this new system, we could see waste and travel times cut by as much as 50% in some cases. A more efficient supply chain means a cheaper journey for everything, from food to fuel, and that translates directly into lower prices for all of us. And third, it's a total game changer for exports. That huge cost we talked about, it was like a ball and chain for businesses trying to sell overseas. By tackling that head-on, the new policy gives Indian companies faster, cheaper, and more reliable shipping. It lets them finally compete on a level playing field and grab a much bigger piece of global trade. And hey, there's a great green angle to all of this too. The policy is designed to shift goods away from roads, which currently carry about 65% of all freight, and onto more fuel-efficient trains and waterways. This move alone will significantly reduce India's carbon footprint. And finally, jobs. This is a massive job creation engine. The development of modern warehouses, logistics parks, and just formalizing the whole sector is expected to create millions of new skilled and semi-skilled jobs all across the country. So when you put it all together, you realize this isn't just about moving boxes faster. This policy is a critical, fundamental building block for India's long-term dream of becoming a $10 trillion economy. Look, the national logistics policy might not be glamorous. It's not a new fighter jet, it's not a mission to Mars. But you could argue it's something far more important. It is the foundational plumbing that a modern, advanced economy absolutely needs to function. Without it, nothing else works right. By methodically fixing the system that was, let's be honest, broken, India isn't just building better roads and ports. It's building a solid foundation for decades of sustained, competitive, and truly inclusive growth. It's finally releasing that trillion-dollar handbrake once and for all. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. While all the noisy headlines grab our attention, could it be that this quiet, systemic reform is the one that will actually define India's economic story for this entire decade? Something to chew on. Thanks for watching this explainer, and be sure to subscribe for more.